iPhone 12 hype. Oh God. You are aware of it. Everyone's waiting for these devices to show up, and there are so many new accessories to go with them as well, including a boatload of cases featuring the new magnetic technology to go with their first wireless charger ever, which has magnets in it as well. And actually, that is showing up very shortly, so make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can see the magnetic charger in action. But for now, in this video, I have the cases. I have all the cases for the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro because that device is the same size. So that's what this fancy little Apple bag is all about. So let's kick it off with the, oh, would you look at that? It's the product red. Do they say product red? They do, product red right there. It's the silicone case with the MagSafe built in, as you can see, and these are not cheap. I should also mention, in Canadian dollars, that's $69. And before I go through every Apple official case, I also want to remind you that, of course, I'm doing the later case for the iPhone 12, iPhone 12 mini, iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone 12 Pro Max, as you can see modeled right here. So if you want something even thinner and tougher, then you can head over to later case. I'll link it down in the description. You can actually order this right now as well with the Cyber Edition camera coverage. Very cool stuff. All right, so as far as the official products are concerned, we have the product red in silicone. We have the white silicone case. We have, look at this, it's so many goodies in here. What is this? What is this color called? This is kumquat. That's the name of that. I mean, it's like an orange, sort of. We have black. Are they calling that black? Oh no, that's cypress green. That's like a dark green. Okay. A couple more here. That's the black model. This is the deep navy. I think Willie Doo would probably be a fan of that one if he had to choose. Probably his own case though, probably the Willie Blue. We have Plum. You gotta have a plum. And this one actually looks a lot like that one. This is pink citrus. These are starting to, it's starting to sound like flavors as if I'm gonna eat them or something. Or don't eat them. And then last up we have the clear case. This is the only one that's gonna show off that magnetic ring. And I've also got some magnets here. Of course, magnets are not new to smartphones. You've had them in various mounting systems in the past and in cases in the past, but typically you would have a magnetic strip like this right here, which would be kind of more distributed. But of course, you know, Apple has to do it different. And so they've done this ring so that their accessories will work best with it. However, it appears that even their wireless charger is still Qi compatible and will work with pretty much anything. So that's good. But as far as magnetic accessories, I'll test that magnet to see how that works with these cases after I get them all opened up. So this is the clear one. They're all the same price, $69 in Canada, a little bit less in the US, but certainly not cheap, not that I expected them to be. So what should we start with? Oh, I don't know. How about that red one that I mentioned earlier? So here we go. It is an unboxing marathon. We will compare each and every iPhone 12 case that's out there. Oh, by the way, as you notice on the branding, the 12, 12 Pro, it's the same case. There's no difference. Okay, unboxing experience. Pretty simple. A little bit of paperwork that you probably don't even need and not a single person is going to read, I would imagine. And a little protector. Case smells like case. And it's on this, I love it. Look at the instruction. You see that, Kirk? I think even you can figure that one out. And I mean, the big difference here, the really flat edge, even on the red model, you can see the indication of where those magnets are gonna live. Again, you don't need to think about these. You don't need to use them, but they are there if you have the applicable accessory. Although I've had this weird thought about the wireless charger and how it sticks to the case when you lift it up. And I'm kind of curious, maybe you don't even want a magnetic case so that you can wirelessly charge, but then just pull it up, or you're gonna have to tape the charger to the table. I have the wireless charger, it's on its way right now. So we're gonna test it in an upcoming video, but that's just a curiosity of mine right there. All right, so let's try it on. This, of course, the model unit of the iPhone 12 Pro. And I'm going to slap that in. And that's pretty straightforward. Full camera cutout here, so no coverage on the camera unit. You have a cutout for the little hold switch there, and then the buttons get remapped here for volume on the outside. They don't stick up all that much. They're kind of recessed in there. They do stick up enough, but they're not too pokey. And then on the other side, we have our larger button, which is the power switch. But again, it doesn't poke out all that much. Bottom of the unit, as you can see here, we have a couple of grills for speaker and microphone. And then, of course, your cutout for your charge port is on there as well. And then the front is pretty self-explanatory. That's how it's going to look on a black device with the red case, product red. Now, let's go ahead and just quickly test out a pre-existing magnet product and see if it... Oh, it does. Okay. So not as well. And that likely has to do with the distribution of the magneticness. So if I use a magnetic pad like this, you can see it's a lot stronger for this magnetic contraption, as you can see right here. But on this one, it's not as strong, on here at least. Of course, as mentioned, once I get the magnetic charger in-house, I'll be testing that out for you as well, and that's in the next video. But it does grip. There are magnets in there. I can now say for certain that there are magnets inside of that case. Okay, next up, why don't we check out the blue? This blue looks pretty cool. Once again, it's called the Deep Navy. Ooh, this one, the plastic remained intact, protecting it. That's a nice color. All right, so we have this soft material on the inside, the circular portion as well for the magnets, and that's your comparison there of the Deep Navy versus the product red. And I think this is going to be kind of a cool look up against the black iPhone 12 Pro in this case. Could be the 12, doesn't matter. They make one case for both. Another nice little touch, the buttons are black. The accent buttons are black on the Deep Navy version of the case. So I think some people are going to like that. Another potential favorite, Cypress Green. This kind of reminds me of the deep or dark green color from the iPhone 11 Pro, which was called Midnight Green. This kind of reminds me of that, although that might be even deeper or slightly more olive, possibly. And again, it looks like the buttons are pretty much black. They're matching the Apple logo itself. I think this is another good choice if you do go with a darker iPhone, as you can see right there. Clips on, pretty straightforward stuff. Now, why don't we flip over to the clear case? This one I'm curious about. I think it's going to be a different material. They don't say much else about it other than clear case, but I think it's a slightly harder material. Maybe not. Oh yeah, this is hard plastic. So it's a totally different feel and no instructions. That's an interesting find. They're not going to tell you how to install this one. You have to figure it out on your own. It's terrifying. I'm terrified. I don't know about you. Look at this on the inside. iPhone MagSafe, designed by Apple in California, assembled in China. And what do I don't, those look like stickers, but they're not. I guess they just wanted to put that info on there. I guess there's really nowhere else to hide it. What's weird about this clear case is, usually what's nice about a clear case is that it's completely clear, so you see the design of the phone through it. This is a weird, is that supposed to be like the power logo, or should it have been, it's just kind of an odd look. Well, let's see what it looks like on the phone. Yeah, so that's your look. I don't know. Some people like the deconstructed thing, like you can see the components, but the iPhone itself has such an elegant design that this kind of, it's a little cheap looking maybe? Anyway, it has the magnets. Let's see if they're the same strength as the other models. Yes, actually maybe even weaker. Or the case is heavier. That's, okay, so at the bottom is the strongest. Look at that, because you have the double up. Bottom is the strongest. So anyways, yeah, this is a hard plastic material. sometimes in the past with these clear cases, you have them on for a really long time. You get dirt and a little bit of dust underneath that you then have to look at. Or in some cases, the UV, the sun, will actually change the color of them a little bit. I can't speak to this one, obviously, but just keep in mind it's a much more hard type of material compared to the silicone cases. How about the white version? This one is the lint magnet in the pocket, by the way. I've used these, well, many years ago when they first came out with this model. Thought it looked kind of cool, but then it picks up absolutely everything in your pocket if you go for this color. Well, these ones, they kind of have a little bit of a tackiness to it, so the in and out of pocket experience is not going to be as smooth as something like this, or obviously something like this. However, that extra grip in the pocket sometimes can help it from slipping out of the pocket unintentionally compared to the slick phone with the glass and everything else. The problem with the white model is just all that lint and stuff shows, whereas it's a little bit more hidden on the darker colors. Anyway, some people will go for it nonetheless, especially if you go for a lighter iPhone. So that's what that looks like. Once again, the buttons are color matched to the Apple logo. And certainly when it's fresh, it's a look to it. No doubt about it. Style points, the white AirPods. You could have a whole look going on. Now, we've got to do the Plum version.
That's my favorite.
Kirk votes for Plum. Some may call it maroon. I don't know what the difference is between plum and maroon. Is maroon going to be a little more red? And plum is going to be a little more purple, possibly. So this is a look with the black as well. I'm sure you could pull that off, Kirk. Now it's time to get in. Oh, well, let's do the classic black, and then we'll get into those flashier colors. This is your black on black, since I have the black iPhone 12 model over here. Although it's a little more gray now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's actually not quite, they call it black, but it's a dull black compared to the black of the phone. And the buttons themselves are actually much more black. And there you can see it compared to the Kevlar model later case, just to compare the tone of the two of them. This actually comes off a little bit darker than this does. And now it's time for the flashy colors. It is kumquat and pink citrus. Possibly the most refreshing of the bunch. It sounds like some sort of, I'm about to have a cocktail or something. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I, sitting by the pool? It's been a while, so you got to take what you can get, even if it's just a flashy, vibrant case, bringing the sunshine in this holiday season. Starting to get a bit grim out there, you know, with the clouds and whatnot. Anyway, so here we go. This one looks tangerine. Why didn't they call it tangerine? I don't know. It wasn't fancy enough. That's an orange, a very bright orange, and we'll visualize that right now. Oof. You're going to turn some heads with that one. They say, hey, is that the new iPhone? Absolutely. Didn't you notice my kumquat case? Of course it's the new iPhone. And the last of the bunch, pink citrus. This is grapefruit. This reminds me of grapefruit when I hear the word citrus, pink citrus. I think of pink grapefruit, which is, you know, it's kind of, not everyone's into grapefruit. Are you good with grapefruit?
I used to hate it, now I love it.
Used to hate it, now he loves it. See, I love grapefruit as well. And yeah, so these are very close. I can see people having trouble making this choice. I would say, if I had to choose, I would go for the grapefruit, I would say.
If you do a later case in one of those colors?
I think I'm more in the grapefruit, but of course, again, it should be obvious. I would go for one of the darker colors. I think you're probably all aware. Funny enough, I kind of wish the black was a little bit more black. And I didn't really expect that, to the point where if I had to choose, I might take the blue over the black of this bunch. The red would be too flashy for me, I would say. The green is kind of cool. This section over here is that's sort of more my style, and then maybe you could include this one, and we go towards, yeah, this is in order of how I would select them right here. Something like this. I'd be more over here. These are sort of more the Pro variants, I think. The tones of the Pro models are sort of more over here as well. And then, of course, we have the clear one, which is kind of the weird one of the bunch. I'm curious to see if people like this one or not. It's the only one that's out of a different material. And then obviously the last option, the later case option is what would you call this? I don't know. This is like a slightly more aggressive look to it with the carbon weave. It's also substantially thinner than these, so it kind of feels just like you're holding the phone and not a case. It's engineered to be as thin as possible. So, well, my pick is pretty obvious. It would be this first. Second, I would go for probably this blue, then this green, then black, then plum. There you have it. That is every single iPhone 12 Pro case that's out there. Even if you were looking at the bigger sizes as well, they'd all be the same. These are your color options compared. Let me know down in the comments which one you would go for, all things created equal, which color, or maybe you'd go for this case instead. There are many options. It's iPhone season, and you know the accessories are coming out of the woodwork. We're going to have so many options. Also, remember to subscribe because I have the MagSafe charger showing up today. So maybe even when you're watching this, that video will be out, and I'll be testing the connection of all these cases on that charger, but also just regular smartphones, previous generation iPhones, to test out the Qi wireless charging on its own, even without the magnets. So anyways, go check for that video because it might be out right now too.